wonderful friends, how are we going today? And welcome to a very lazy Sunday where I still have my hair rollers in because that's the vibe of the day. Anyway, today I wanted to do a little video about zero waste living or waste-free living, however you may say it, or the term you know best. To give you some tips and tricks on not only to enhance your sustainability journey, but also getting it started. What spurred this was I was reading a book from the library about zero waste living, and it was sharing all the ideas and the tips and tricks and swaps you can do, and I was like, I pretty much do that already, and I could write a book at this point with all the knowledge in my mind. So I thought, let's do a video about it instead, and let's have a bit of a discussion around it as well, because I feel like zero waste is not necessarily something that's achievable, obtainable, and sometimes feasible for most people. And this author of this book was saying for them, it gives them a challenge to aspire to. They know that they may not achieve it in their lifetime, being completely waste-free, but it gives them sort of momentum to get as close as possible to that idea. Now, I do think that, especially with plastic, still has a place in society. Perhaps you have a disability or the accessibility to alternative products, I feel is not necessarily there at the moment because of how our society and the way we produce products is structured. So that's a long-winded blurb. But basically, I just wanted to break it down to go from the kitchen to the bathroom and some general habits every day that you could basically put into your life, because it is so much easier than you think it is. And also, it doesn't happen overnight. I've been on my sustainable journey for nearly 7 years, and I still use plastic. I still do things that I get annoyed at. But at the end of the day, you can control what you can control and do what you can change. And what you can't, write those letters, band together with your community, swap with friends, make your own, those sorts of things. It's about rethinking how we have our resources and basically making do with what we've got, using less, and finding alternative ways to do things that is less, harmful to the environment. Okay, that was a very long introduction, but let's get into it. Let's start off in the kitchen to see how we can make some easy swaps in our everyday lives. Let's go. My 3 top key philosophies when starting a sustainable journey. Number 1, use what you have first. Don't chuck everything out and then buy the best sustainable alternative. Use what you have first. When it breaks down, then invest. It's all about an investment rather than just tossing everything out and redoing it. Number 2, is it a need or want? Sometimes we get advertised these trendy, cool, gadgets and products and alternative sustainable products that actually pretty much are unnecessary. I can't even think of an example at the moment, but like things like bowl covers, for example, like a silicone thing you can buy that goes over the top of your bowl. You know what? Sometimes a plate can do exactly the same job. So just rethinking, alternatives and resources. And my last one is, things don't change overnight. Pace yourself. Take your time to think thoughtfully and resourcefully about everything that you own and identify the areas where you can make the most impact. So in the kitchen, for example, perhaps, even Charlie agrees, perhaps it's great to do a waste audit. So you're actually aware of where your waste is going. Is it food scraps? Is it plastic packaging? Is it something else? So a waste audit is a great way to get started if you're unsure where that waste is generating the most from. So we're in the kitchen. What are we going to do? Number 1, paper towels. I don't understand why people are still using them, because cloths are just a great alternative to use. So these are a couple of my favorites. We've got these awesome sponges. I'll put the name there because I cannot pronounce them. You can easily get them at Coles or any sustainable green living stores. They are great. They look really hard and not that great, but they absorb liquids like anything. So you can use them as your dishcloths as well. Good old Chuck's cloths are great too. You can reuse them and reuse them before they die. And then also, if you cut up old towels to make cloths as well, they do really well as paper towel alternatives. So once you use them for a couple of days, you can just toss them in the wash and wash them through the washing machine, and they're completely fine. But another tip is, if you're worried about the bacteria and making sure they're squeaky clean, you can easily, this is my favorite tip, grab your trusty stock pot, fill it up with water and some vinegar, pop all your cloths in here and even your tea towels, depending on how big your pot is, and you boil that up for a good 10 minutes and you have sterilized them. So that's an A+ tip when going sustainable with paper towel alternatives. Like any great vintage homemaker, glass jars are a winner in my opinion. They are technically free because you can get your pasta sauce and all sorts of things in there, wash them up, and you've got instant food storage without the plastic. Also, when your plastic containers die, I have invested, I don't have any because they're all in the fridge, glass containers instead, and they work really well. But basically, use your plastic ones until they die, toss them out. I think they might be recyclable, then invest in some glassware. Otherwise, glass jars do wonders, and I do freeze them as well, and they don't burst or break or anything. So that's another. The interesting pantry choices of storage, but yes, Moccona coffee jars are great. Old yogurt containers, we've got vintage canisters here, but pretty much it's just reusing your resources that you have. I opt for can products because I know that they can be recycled, and we just won't look down there, don't look down there. Sustainable living isn't perfect, but it's again, using your resources. How can you store things differently, buy packaging differently, those sorts of things. It's becoming a conscious shopper. So that was tip number 2, was glass storage. Here's another example of imperfect storage containers. We've got a plate on top of a plate. We've got glass containers, some plastic wrap there, some plastic containers, some more plastic. These produce bags are great, but to be honest, I think they're just a gimmick. I just find a tea towel, such as my bread in there, works just as fine. Speed round for kitchen tips. Baking paper that you usually just use once to bake your biscuits or cakes and those sorts of things and toss out, or alfoil, get rid of them. My favorite alternative is these silicone mats. You can easily get them at Kmart or your green living, waste-free living places. They are amazing. Wash them up, reuse them. Love them. Can't live without them. Number 2, cling wrap. Get rid of cling wrap. You can use beeswax wraps. I don't use these personally as much as I thought I would. Or you can use these silicone bowl covers that I was talking about. They're great. You can put your produce in them as well. Or a plate. Done. Cling wrap, no longer needed. Number 3, Ziploc bags. My absolute pest that I found. I can't really find an alternative for them. The best I found is these silicone pouches. You can get different sizes. You can get like a small rectangle one or these ones. But if you've got larger quantities that you're trying to freeze, these seed and sprout ones, I think you can find them at other places as well. Yes, my son was frozen in these. I pulled them out just for you. They're a bit more bulk. I don't know how to explain it. But they got a bit more room in it if you got like soup or something, or something a bit bulkier to put in. These are great, whereas those ones are a bit more flat. So that is Ziploc alternatives. That's 3 speed round tips in the kitchen for you. Last kitchen tip is food waste, because apparently 30% in Australia, 30% of food is wasted that we purchase each year. So I highly recommend doing an audit, obviously, making sure that you're using what you buy with your food. Secondly, getting a compost. Compost is a great way to get rid of those scraps. As well as making your own veggie stock. If you save up your veggie scraps, you can even freeze them if you wanted to, and you can make a great homemade vegetables stock out of it. Same with old chicken bones. You can make chicken stock as well. So again, reusing your scraps and repurposing them into a new life. So that's my 3rd one, main one for the kitchen. Ding! Do you know you can easily make your own chicken or veggie stock at home? Today I'm making chicken stock, and I'm simply just using an old chicken carcass that I froze, and popped into a stock pot with 3 litres of water, some veggies and some herbs. I'll pop the recipe below and on this little slide here. And basically you can just like simmer it for a number of hours, or if you've got an instant pot, you can basically put it on high pressure for 45 minutes. And it's a great way to use up those scraps and turn it into something new and exciting. Time to change things up in the bathroom. For me, the bathroom is probably one of the hardest areas to really change because beauty products these days don't come in necessarily recyclable packaging. They come in a lot of plastic, and the accessibility of alternatives are quite hard to find. So let's get started. Charlie is keen, so let's get started. My first number 1 tip is to have a box. Why a box, Claire? Well, I have a Use Me First box. So perhaps you've got old samples, toiletries you've saved from hotels, those sorts of things. Pop them in a box and use them first when you need something. When they're gone, perfect. See if you can find a local pharmacy that does beauty recycling of the plastic packaging. So once that's done, you can start looking at alternatives and investing in alternative packaging, brands, those sorts of things. Main number 1 tips for the bathroom is break up with makeup wipes. There is no need for them when you can find natural and healthier alternatives out there. So what can you use instead? You can get reusable makeup remover pads such as this, or a good old washer. I love getting a washer that is darker in colour, therefore when you do have stains on it, if you can't get it out from your makeup, it doesn't really matter, you can't really see it. So number 1, time to get some cloth reusable ones. Now, makeup remover, what are the alternatives? You're going to laugh at me, but coconut oil is fabulous. It takes off makeup like anything. Or you can make your own. I use a combination of rice bran oil, a couple other oils, such as castor oil and some essential oils. I'll drop the recipe for you to try it out. And simply, so much easier, so much more natural, and your skin is going to love you. Where you can't make your own, opt for beauty brands that do products in glass bottles, such as these. My hope is that these will be more likely to be recyclable than your plastic tubes. So always opt for those sorts of products in glass bottles if you can and if you can afford it, because sometimes these are more expensive. So you have to find the best happy medium for you. That was tip number 2, shop for beauty products in glass bottles. Number 3, vintage ways, go back to a bar soap. Less packaging, so much better and easier without plastic packaging, or opt for brands that do reusable, refillable body wash, such as Wild. Their canisters are actually bamboo, meaning they're compostable. Some of the other refillable products out there, I do question whether they're actually recyclable, the packaging that comes in, because they tend to look like more plastic packaging and I don't really see the purpose. So just shop around, have a look at the alternatives and see what works best for you. Lastly, there are a lot of alternative products out there, from toothpaste, in chews, in paste, those sorts of things. At the end of the day, you have to work out, is it right for you? Is it affordable within your budget? And are you willing to try this alternative? Because sometimes it's not frankly feasible or accessible for you. And for me personally, some of those toothpaste alternative products I don't actually like. So I'm back to using an actual toothpaste tube product, which I wrote to the company and they said they're doing more packaging with their tubes. So hopefully soon they will be recyclable. But at the end of the day, just control what you can control and do what you can change. And just think consciously when you go to shop for these beauty products. Can you make it yourself? Do you really need it? Is it the latest gadget or like product that's out there? Sometimes simple is best when it comes to beauty, but I am no professional. Do what's best for you. Beauty products speed round. Number 1, shampoo and conditioner. Get rid of those plastic bottles and opt for a bar option. There's lots of brands out there online and in store that give you those options. They're still effective, they still work really well, and they are perfect when traveling. Refillable products such as your deodorant and your body wash. Wild, this is not an ad, does great refillable body wash and deodorant. Their body wash refillables are actually in bamboo, making them compostable, whereas some of the products that are out there in the supermarket, so change what you can change and what you're comfortable with too. No point doing some swap that just makes you feel yucky or have a reaction to. We don't want that. We just want to look at alternative ways that we can save on packaging and waste in the bathroom. I hope you found that helpful. I thought I would share a realistic alternative beauty regime, I suppose you could say, just so you can give you some examples and some thoughts around how it can be obtainable. So for makeup remover, I either make my own or face cleanser. I use a bar. This was Ethic, I think that's how you say it. I don't know if they're still stocking in Australia, but this is great. This has lasted me like 12 months. So that's my face wash. I still use plastic tubes because that is all I can access, but with other things like face moisturizer and those sorts of things, I use products in glass jars, and I use good old castor oil as my main moisturizer at night because it's a natural product and it does wonders. And sometimes we get told and sold things that we don't actually need, or it's got a list of 10,000 ingredients. So maybe you'll have to go down that rabbit hole, but feel free to do some research and see what works best for you. For my deodorant, full option from Wild. What else do I use? I make my own linseed hairspray, a linseed setting spray for my curls. I have started using shampoo and conditioner bars again as one of the main Ethic, however you say it, that brand had left Australia. So I found an alternative that I'm trialing at the moment. It's called the Hair Pip, and it's literally a little bar like so. That is your shampoo and conditioner in one. I'm trying that out at the moment, but no plastic packaging. It's great, and it's great for travel. And the other thing that I continue to express is to make sure that whatever product you go to is within your budget and it's also your comfortable level. Because some things, there are great reusable options, such as your cotton tips. You can get reusable ones, but for me, I'm not willing to go that far. So I just use the next best thing, and that is the paper alternative one. So yeah, that is some examples of my everyday life, so you can see how you can use these principles in your routine and in what you currently use. So hopefully find that a bit of an insight and a bit helpful, because the beauty stuff and the bathroom stuff was definitely something that I struggled with greatly. To finish off, here is my 4 favorite general tips when starting your waste-free journey or your sustainable journey. Number 1, mend and make do. I'll continue saying that all the time, but mend and make do your clothing, your furniture, your appliances, everything that you have. If it's broken, see if it can be repaired before you toss it out. Number 2, use the storage containers that are available to you, whether it's vintage little tins or like baskets that are sitting in the cupboard. Use what you already have for storage, for storing things before going out and buying new items. And number 3, shop secondhand first. Use shopping your op shops as your first point of call when you need anything. Otherwise, maybe you could swap or borrow with your friends. And lastly, always leave your cloth reusable bags at the front door or in your car before you go shopping. That way you'll always remember to use them when you go to get your groceries. So that's some really general everyday habits and practices you can start in your life. At the end of the day, waste-free living, sustainable living, plastic-free living, whatever you want to call it, it's just all about not being perfect. It's about being mindful and conscious of the resources and the products in your own home. A bit like the 1940s, they just had to make do with what they had and be smart about their resources. It's nothing new, it's just implementing it in today's society and today's modern world, thinking alternatively and seeing what you can do to make an impact not only on your health, but also the environment. I hope you found these tips helpful, and remember, it doesn't happen overnight. It's about implementing small things every day that will add up to a big impact. I'll see you next time. Bye.